I'm Chris Avina with American Outdoor News. Today I'm here with my friend Tim Weddington from 10 Gauge Outfitters. Tim, thanks so much for taking the time to speak to us today.
Appreciate you having us on, Chris.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, I had gone through your website and man, you really have a beautiful operation. Your lodge is really nice and the spectrum of game that you outfit is really unbelievable as well. How did you get into outfitting?
Well, that's a funny story, Chris. It really is. Uh, you know, I, the only way to explain it is this is where God put me because there was no plan for this. I mean, if you would have asked me 30 years ago, "Hey, are you going to have an outfitting business?" I'd have told you you're nuts because I never really thought about it much. Um, we started out by renting ground just for us and kids and family to hunt on, and then we decided, hey, we're going to move over to try to recover some of that cost by selling a few hunts, and sold a few hunts, and from there it just bloomed. And one year you have 4 guys, next year you have 16 guys, and now we're just swamped. But that took 20 years to do. And the lodge that you were talking about, we built ourselves. It wasn't a contractor. I designed it with my wife, and we built everything in there: the lodge, the furniture, the beds, you name it. We designed it all and built it all, with the outfitting business in mind. Like it's like our beds. I mean, one of the biggest things I've seen is I go to outfitters and they buy these bunk beds that are made for kids. And
Well, they don't really make them for adults. You got to kind of make them yourself.
yeah, so we built our own beds, and they're built for 350-pound guys, and they're comfortable. But so we put a lot of thought into this, and it's paid off because a good 80% of our clients are repeat clients. They come here one time and then they come back every year.
Well, building a shed takes work. What does it take to build a lodge? I mean, how many people does it hold?
The lodge holds 26 people. Uh,
Wow.
it's a little over 7,000 square feet. Um, and it took us about 8 months to build it complete from
That's
start
not
to end.
that's not bad.
That includes the furniture and everything. Um, and it was just us and the kids, and a couple employees. But it it was designed with our, with our hunting totally in mind. We don't live in that lodge. That lodge is strictly only used to entertain clients with, and it was built, and all of the decor and all the layout was built that way with them in mind. And I don't know if you had a chance to look at that promo video called "The Whisper."
I did.
That gives you a really good layout of our mindset and what we try to provide for clients.
Now, people think you're an outfitter. That's great. You get to hunt every day. That's the furthest thing from the truth, isn't it?
The truth. Uh, there is a lot of work that goes into being able to have a client out and giving them the greatest chance for success at the game that they're chasing. So it's a year-round deal. We're not farmers. I don't have a second job, or this is not my second job. This is the only job I have, and
Hmm.
and we do it year-round. We prep for pheasant, we prep for deer, we prep for turkey. We have prairie dog shooting. We have some coyote hunting, and we prep for all of that. Building food plots, feeders, cameras, water stations, you name it. It goes into this, and you have to do this if you want to have enough numbers of birds, or quality deer, or whatever game it is that you're pursuing. If you're going to do it on a commercial basis, you have to really take care of the animals to be able to have enough animals quality animals to be able to chase.
Yeah, you need to give the animals a reason to stay on your property. So that actually gives a lot more work to you, especially with deer. Deer, they'll roam wherever the food source is.
Yeah, I mean, deer are probably the hardest ones because our deer are not high fenced. They can go wherever they want to go. And, 20 years, I've been hunting since I was a kid. And I'll be quite honest with you, I still don't understand what makes a deer tick. I mean, really, I don't. I mean, and I've talked to thousands of people in the industry, and I listen to all of their points, and then I take those points and I put it back into the field, and I look at what the deer are doing, and I'm like, yeah, possibly, but not 100% on that.
Hmm.
The biggest thing we have is, in the state of Kansas, we bait, and I hear all the time the negatives about baiting, and I can tell you this: the only thing that baiting does for us is gives us the ability to tell you how many deer are on the property, what the age structure is.
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. The mature deer, they're smart enough not to trust to avoid those feeders during hunting times. Why that is, I don't know. I don't know. They have a biological clock that tells them, hey, hunting season's coming around. I'm not sure how that goes, but you can watch them on camera. They'll frequent that feeder or the water stations during the daylight hours when it's not hunting season. But as soon as cool weather starts coming, they start pushing that back farther and farther. How they know that, I'm not sure,
They're
but
big for a reason.
I can tell you there is one absolute.
It is what it is. So, you primarily started out as a upland bird hunter.
Primarily started out as a deer hunter, and then as time went by, we figured out that bird hunting is much easier and less stressful because we have way more pheasants than we do deer. The reason that the state of Kansas has such good deer is because we don't have that many of them in comparison to a highly populated areas. With
Yeah.
people, we're just we're still pretty spread out around here, and the deer can go wherever they want to go. And on a section of ground, you might have there might be 20 deer. And the section is a mile by a mile. Whereas, back where, in your area, you measure how many deer an acre you have. We measure how many acres per deer we have.
Yeah.
So it's just not that big of numbers. And because of that, the genetics are really strong, but you just don't have that many deer to hunt. So it's not that easy to do, and it's very stressful. So we got into the bird hunting because the bird hunting was less stressful and much easier, and that's pretty much that's our niche now is bird hunting and prairie dog shooting.
That's always fun to shoot prairie dogs.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's an absolute gas to go out there and sit up in a field and play whack-a-mole, um, and that's exactly what it is.
Now, I have to say, you are really in a thankless business. Somebody fills their tag, they're supposed to because they're with an outfitter. They don't fill their tag, oh, this place sucks. How do you balance that?
Well, um, the thing that we always try to tell clients is that you're purchasing a service, and that service is to provide you with excellent lodging, excellent meals, and a place that has a very high potential for the game that you're chasing.
Hmm.
Um, and from that point, it's all about the experience. And we try to get them not to look at it as it's only based on success because it shouldn't be. It should be based on all of the factors involved in it. Because when it comes down to hunting, Chris, Mother Nature controls that. I mean, it can be
Yeah.
the best hunting spot in the world, but if the temperature is wrong, or the wind is wrong, or the weather is wrong, that really messes it up. So that's out of our control. So we try to control all the things that we can control And then the ones that we don't control, we just explain, hey, these things are out of our control, but they really shouldn't make what your hunt is about.
Yeah, there is that misconception, and it's hunting. If you wanted a guarantee, you go to a high fence operation.
Exactly, and that's the only way you're going to do it. And and there's nothing wrong with that either. I mean that there's a
No,
place for that also, uh, and I understand that. But yeah, the experience is what has to be the memory, not holding the animal that you were chasing.
well, to me, that's a big part of hunting. It's not just filling your tag; it's the camp, the people you're with, the experience you're sharing, the relationships you build. It's all a big part of the outdoors and the hunting industry. It's, people who don't understand it, they think, oh, you're just killers. It's the furthest thing from the truth.
Yeah, I mean that's the hardest point to get across to people is we study our animals, and I understand that my animal is the commodity in my business. This is how I make money, and if I don't take care of that, I'm not going to make money. So I have to go 10 miles farther than most person does in the conservation of the game to make sure that we have the numbers to hunt that can make us money. A lot of people don't understand how, to go to a really good outfitter. It takes that money, the money that outfitter spends is enormous, and
Hmm.
people don't realize that. People always ask me, how do you know which outfitter to pick? And I generally tell people most of the time you get what you pay for. And the best way to look at it is look at the amenities and the money that person spends on their operation. And then you're going to figure out, are they putting money into the business or are they just trying to get as many people in there as they can? And that's the best way to look at it.
Sure, sure. They don't look at the off season. They just look at what it's going to cost them to go and hunt. But
Sure.
in the off season, you're investing a lot of time, a lot of money, cultivating the property, investing in the conservation, giving the animals a reason to stay on your property and maintain a presence. Without that, you just have a plot of land.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, what can somebody expect when they come to 10 gauge outfitters?
Well, what they're gonna be treated to is we're going to cater to making this a hunt of a lifetime for them. That's our motto. Um, and we're going to bring them in. We're going to make sure that all of the things that we control are done to the utmost. That means the place is clean, the room is prepped for you, the bathroom is ready for you, the food, the drinks, everything is top notch. And then when we tell you that we're going to head out at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to head out at 8 o'clock in the morning. If we tell you we're going to pick up at 8 o'clock at night on a deer hunt or 7:30 or whatever it is, then that's the time we're going to do it. So things that we control, we take care of. And,
Hmm.
and when you do that, people look at that and say, wow, this guy is really doing what he says he does. And then the rest of it just falls into place because if I'm willing to do all that, then I am willing to do all the prep work too to try to make it as successful as possible for you. And you're going to get to see whatever game you're chasing, whether you get to harvest it or not. That's a tough one to, you never know. There's so
Yeah,
many things in that.
you got to give your best effort. You got to take control of the hunt. You can't let the client guide the guide. It's never going to work. It's your
Uh,
property. Nobody knows it better than you.
that's the greatest point to hit on right there. I always tell people, because you have it, you have guys come in and say, "Hey, I want to hunt here, or I want to do this, or I want to do that," and I always tell them, I said, "Okay, I want you to look at this analogy. I just hired a fishing charter, and I show up at the dock, and I got all my tackle and all my maps, and I tell the the fishing cap the boat captain, hey, I want to go here and I want to fish with this bait. I want to use this rod. And he looks at me and he goes, well, what'd you hire me for? And it's exactly that. You know, if you're going to show up with all your own tackle and all your own maps, and this is where we want to go, then there was no need in hiring that fishing guide. And it works the same way at a hunting guide. You know,
Yep.
you're paying me to have all the knowledge to know where those animals are, what time to hunt them, when to go, and it's all about that. And that's what we try to make sure that we can ensure is that we know what our game are going to do in an environment that they're in. And when the weather changes, that changes it a little bit, but we still have a good idea.
Sure. So, what is your favorite season? You guide pheasant, dove, quail, deer, turkey. What do you prefer?
Personally, to hunt, I prefer to chase turkeys. That's that's my my bag. I mean, I love it. I still do it. I don't really big game hunt much anymore. I go on a few hunts every once in a while, but turkey hunting is still one of those things that kind of trips my trigger. Um, as far as what I still enjoy watching hunting, I like bird hunting because I like to watch the dogs work. I like to watch them work. I like to watch the clients, watch the dogs become part of that, start understanding it, and it's just a fun thing to watch.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot here.
All right.
I've guided, and there's always a story. What was the most fucked up client you've ever dealt with?
Oh, well, the first thing that you can tell is when you walk in the morning at 5 a.m. to make sure a coffee maker is running, and you walk in there and the TV is on CNN.
CNN.
CNN. You
Hmm.
know, you got a problem. That's the first red flag. Then that person right there watching CNN, you're going to have a problem. And I know that's you just don't people don't believe it or don't understand it, but I can tell you, it seems every time that there is a problem arises in camp, whether it be a dog getting shot
Yep.
or somebody wanting to take over a hunt and not pay attention to guides. It seems to always start out that I walk in there in the morning and they got CNN on watching that stuff in the morning. And I hate to be like that, but I'm just telling you how it is. Am I conservative? Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't be in this business if I wasn't.
Yep.
And I don't mind having debates with the other side. I enjoy it. It's fun when someone will actually have a debate with you and you go over your views and their views and you either come to an agreement or you come to agreement not to agree. But it always seems that that's how the hunt starts out, is that okay? And then it always leads into other problems. You know, we've had dogs shot
Wow.
after going over, and generally it's a quail hunt when the dogs get shot, but there's really no sense in shooting a dog. You just have to pay attention to what's in your backdrop. And of course, then they don't want to take responsibility. They'll try to deny it. Well, then you bring the dog over there and the dog's got shot in it. And how do you deny this? You're the one that pulled the trigger. So
Yep.
I'm not going to get into some of the worst things, but I can promise you this: it seems like it always starts out with CNN on the TV in the morning.
I don't disagree. So here's a story for you. We I was guiding in Pennsylvania, and my friend who's guiding had this client who would go into the woods with just a whole bunch of unnecessary gear. So the guy asked him, "Can you help me carry my gear in?" So he's carrying some of his stuff. He has his bucket. They get into the stand. He's like, "What's the bucket for?" "Oh, that's my shit bucket." So he had my friend carry a shit bucket into the woods for him.
Well, hey, I guess somebody told him that was the best way to go. I mean, uh, me and you both know that big bear craps in the woods. Uh, be the big bear.
Yep.
No need having all that stuff. But I mean, it's you see that a lot. I mean, unfortunately, in this industry, um, marketing tells a lot of people that they need all this stuff, and when it comes down to it, maybe not so much. Um, you can see that a lot, you know.
Well, I think we're about the same age bracket, and I could remember before there was any of this product, any of the technology, any of all of this stuff that everybody thinks they need right now is a lot simpler. We had our plaid pants and jacket, and
Yeah,
that was it.
that's what you went out and had a good time with.
Yeah.
That's the thing that we've gotten away from is that you think back with those plaid pants and a jacket, how much fun you had then.
Sure.
Now you got all of this stuff that you thought you needed. You towed all of it around, and it really took away from how much fun you had.
Yeah, it's true. You don't need to drag your ozonics into the woods and connect it to the tree. Either you're going to be successful or you're not. You know what you're doing or you're not. The technology is not going to make you a better hunter.
No, no, spending massive amounts of money will not make you a seasoned hunter.
So you're building up to what? Deer season starting by you?
Yeah, we just kicked off. Deer season opened up yesterday. Muzzleloader season did. So we have that going on right now, and then we move right into pheasant season, and then we run pheasant all the way to the end of January.
All right. Well, it sounds like you have a well-oiled machine, and this is our time. This is our season. This is what we work all year for.
Absolutely, this is where we try to get all of the fruits of our labor to come together. Um, so we're really looking forward to it. The bird population is crazy this year, Chris. I've never seen so many young chicks running around this summer while we're out, getting everything prepped, putting food plots in, putting trees in, um, all the stuff that we do. We get to see, what's out there. And I have never seen so many young birds. And it doesn't matter if it's quail or pheasant, they were everywhere. And I'm really excited about getting out in the field and chasing them because the numbers are going to be insane.
All right. So if somebody wants to book a pheasant or a quail hunt with you, how do they find you?
Get online, just go to 10gageoutfitters.com and everything is right there on the website. You can handle your booking. You can shoot me a text message from the website. Hey, these dates available. I'll get back to you immediately, and you can book it right there on the spot. Very simple.
Is it the number 10 Gauge Outfitters or a TEN?
It's the number. It's 10gageoutfitters.com.
All right. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us about your operation and what to expect. Uh, I look forward to possibly hunting with you in the future.
Sure, Chris, come on out, join us here at 10 Gauge Outfitters, and hey, we'll get with me again, and we'll do another podcast sometime soon.
Okay. Thanks again for your time and look forward to meeting with you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too.